I want to help you become a detective for your dog. We're going to look at the 4 main categories of things that affect your dog's calm. And here is the thing, most of them are things that you're not even thinking about. In my last video, we talked about how to tell if your dog is stressed versus just high energy. So after that video, I got so many messages from you guys saying, oh my gosh, I had no idea my dog was stressed. But the good news is that once you know what you're looking for, you can start making some really simple changes that are going to help your dog feel so much better. So I've worked with hundreds of dogs, and there are a whole bunch of things that can cause anxiety for your dog. But I have narrowed it down into 4 different categories. And that makes it so much easier because you can just look at these 4 areas and figure out what's going on with your specific dog. Okay, so the 4 categories are environmental factors, physical factors, social factors, and training factors. So let me break each one of them down, and you can start thinking as I'm talking about which ones might be affecting your dog. All right, so environmental factors. This is the stuff in your home and in your dog's surroundings. So one big thing is noise. The washing machine, the dryer, the vacuum cleaner, even the air conditioner turning on. I actually had this one friend who had a dog that was so anxious all the time, and she didn't realize that they were just scared every time the AC kicked on. So once she figured that out, she was able to really help her dog. So another environmental factor to look for is chaos and unpredictability. So if your house is like really busy and kids are running around and people are coming and going at random times, your dog doesn't know what to expect. And dogs love routine. They love knowing what's going to happen next. And then also in this category are visual triggers. Sometimes it's what they can see that's the problem. Like if they can see out a window and people are walking by all day or dogs are walking past, that can keep them in a heightened alert state all day long. The cool thing is that once you identify these ones, they're probably the easiest to fix, the physical triggers. So you can close the curtains during the day if it's busy outside. You can put some classical music on to cover up household noises. There's actually a really cool study that they did that shows that classical music helps dogs calm down even more than silence. So that's really cool. That's a cool little trick. Okay, number 2 is physical factors. This is the stuff happening in their body. So one thing is poor nutrition. So if your dog has a bunch of fillers, artificial ingredients, and things that don't agree with them in their food, that can actually increase their anxiety. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but what they're eating affects how they feel mentally, just like it would for us. Another physical factor to look for is health issues. So these are something that usually come on kind of suddenly. So if your dog is suddenly acting differently, then you definitely want to have them checked out by a vet and just make sure that their misbehavior isn't caused by actual physical pain. Then the next one is toxins in their environment. So certainly cleaning products, air fresheners, even some essential oils aren't dog safe, and it can really affect them. So definitely you don't want to have those plug-in air fresheners. Those are very toxic, not only to us, but also to our dogs. So for this category, you want to start looking at what you're feeding your dog. You want to look at the ingredients list. And if you can't pronounce half the things on there, then you definitely want to start exploring other options. And then think about the products that you're using in your house, because any product you're putting on your floor, if you're putting bleach on your floor or harsh cleaners, the products that you're using to clean their bedding, or the products that you're actually putting on them, flea and tick, different things that we might be spraying on our dog's coat when they go for a grooming. Think about whether your groomer is using products that might be agitating your dog. All of this causes physical discomfort, and that causes anxiety and bad behavior. So that's a whole category that we just want to make sure that we're paying attention to. Number 3, and this is one that 90% of people that I talk to are doing without realizing it, and that is social factors. So this is about your interactions with your dog, with other people, and anyone else that's in their environment. So one thing is forced interactions. You know, you're like, go say hi, go play with that dog, but you can tell your dog is uncomfortable. So our dogs need to feel like they have some control over their social interaction. Another social factor is competition. If you have multiple dogs and they're competing for your attention or for food or for toys, that definitely creates tension. And here's one that people don't think about: too much social time. And yes, that is a thing. Dogs do need time away from people and other dogs to recharge. So here's the shift I want you to make. If you're seeing that your dog is having some kind of reaction to being over socialized, or you forcing them into social situations, or they're seeming shy or overwhelmed when they're around other dogs or other people, you want to start watching your dog's body language. If they're backing away, if they're looking away when someone's trying to come near them, or if you want to give your dog a kiss and they look away, that's them trying to control a little bit of anxiety that they're feeling because they don't want anyone in their space right at that moment. So if we notice that they're hesitant, that is the time to allow them to have a little control over their social interaction. Let them not have to go and greet that dog that you're just passing on the street. Let them have that reaction and let them have a little bit of downtime and alone time in their day. And number 4 is training factors. So now I'm not, of course, saying that training is bad. Training is great. But how we train matters so, so much. Yelling, correcting, anything that makes them worried about what they're doing wrong, this keeps them on edge because they don't understand that they did something wrong. They just know that you're upset. So now they're anxious because they don't know when it's going to happen again. They are not connecting, oh, I did this bad thing and then I get yelled at, so I shouldn't do that bad thing anymore. They actually just think you lost it and they have no idea why. So they're waiting for the next shoe to drop. Another thing to be careful of is inconsistency with your training. So we want to do a lot of positive training with our dogs, which means that we reinforce the things that they do right. So what happens is a lot of times people will wait until their dog is chewing up a sock or something, or a shoe or whatever they grab in the house, and then no, 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 and they're correcting and correcting. But what they don't think to do is when their dog is quiet, when they're sitting and behaving themselves, that's when you should pour attention on them. That's when you should give them a treat. That's when you should snuggle them. That's when you should focus on them and pay attention to them, because whatever we pay attention to will increase. Dogs love attention. And if the only attention they're getting is the no, 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 they'll take it over no attention at all. And they will keep doing that naughty thing, because when they do it, you drop what you're doing and go focus on them. And that's what they want. They want your focus. So if you can start moving your focus to when they're behaving and when they're being good, then they're going to increase that good behavior. Okay, so now that you know the 4 categories, here's what I want you to do. Become a detective for your dog. Grab a piece of paper or open your notes app or wherever, just write down these 4 different things to look for. The categories are environmental, physical, social, and training. Now, once you write those down, think about your specific dog and your specific home, and then what's going on in each category. Where do you think your dog might be struggling, or they might be getting some anxiety from something in that category, and then write it down on your list. You might be like, oh yeah, my dog hates the doorbell, or my dog gets weird when my neighbor's dog is outside. So write all those things down. And then the first step to helping your dog is just identifying what's actually affecting them. Not what you read online, not what worked for someone else's dog, but what happens with your specific dog in your home. Now, here's something important about these factors. They're not just making your dog difficult to manage or hard to train. There's actually something happening inside your dog's body when they're exposed to these triggers. And in my next video, I'm going to walk you through what's really going on, how it's affecting their immune system, their digestion, and their overall health. And once you understand that piece, everything is going to click into place. So go ahead and watch that video. It's going to come up next. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope everything is going great with your dog.